I finally got my hands on Doom, The Dark Ages.
But unfortunately, I'm 30 years old and have adult responsibilities before I can play. It's kind of hard to breathe in this thing.
Yes, I've got Doom the Dark Ages, and yes, I've played it. I've been so f***ing psyched for this game you would not believe. Now, quick heads up beforehand, I pre-ordered the Collector's Edition bundle, which comes with this handsome fella right here. And there was a bit of a situation regarding the pre-orders for the UK from the Bethesda Gear Store. Oh, potentially illegal things Bethesda may or may not have done. If you want to hear more about that and you haven't yet, check out this video for that drama. I'm not going to address it anymore in this video because I want this to be about the game. It's about the quality of Doom the Dark Ages. The team worked really hard on it. Presumably, who knows? You haven't watched the video. And it's about their game and how it turned out. That's the only thing I want to focus on in this video. For starters, I just want to point out how much I love there's a AAA single-player FPS with so much passion and a proper budget. The story is much deeper than previous entries, which is cool for me because I wanted to see how the Slayer broke free of the Makers and found himself on that big spaceship in the sky with his photos of him and Daisy on. But as with the previous entries, if that's not you, if you don't care about story in a Doom game, you can completely ignore it. The game does not shove it down your throat at all. Just skip the cutscenes and you're still going to be ripping and tearing all day long. But before we go any further, I think I should give you my professional review of Doom the Dark Ages. When you smack a guy, it's just like whoosh, and then when you shoot that guy, it just goes boom, and then when you rip this demon's heart out and crush it in your hand, it's just like. The weapon set is really cool. It feels a cross between Doom and Quake, which a lot of this game does. The Pulverizer in particular is a weapon that feels like it would belong in Quake. It's that one from the trailers where it grinds up skulls and fires the debris out at the demons. And, oh, it's so cool. Probably my favourite new gun I've used in the game. It's so cool. The gameplay loop was described as very different from Eternal in the pre-release material, and they are right. Hugo Martin described the Slayer of this game as a tank, whereas the Slayer in the last game was a jet. And that's absolutely true. You do feel like a tank. You're heavy, you're bulky, you run through things. You're encouraged to run at the enemy and just deflect the bullets, smack them. Melee is a huge part of this game. And there's so much heft to your character. If you land around enemies, the shockwave from where you hit the ground will just obliterate them. That's how chunky you are in this game. The shield is great. I'm still getting used to the parrying mechanic and the timings for different enemies. It does look very silly and arcadey, but Doom is an arcade shooter, so I think there's no problem with that whatsoever. It's just fun and it works, so I think it's fine. I do find myself getting hit from behind a lot more in this game. I don't know if it's because the gameplay loop encourages you to obviously take on an opponent. So if there's a big Mancubus over there and the Mancubus is shooting me and I'm weaving out the projectiles and deflecting, etc., and taking the time to deal with that enemy, Hell Knight will just attack me from behind. And I don't know if that's a psychological thing, that I'm just not used to this gameplay loop yet, where I'm not kind of wired in. I haven't hit the exact fun zone yet where I can acknowledge that, right, these guys are going to be right behind me, so I've got to get this done, and then I'll turn around and boom, and then go back to the Mancubus. And I don't know, but that is something I have noticed so far. I play every Doom game on ultra violence, so maybe that's just a problem on harder difficulties where they take so much health from you. I don't know, but just wanted to point it out. Unlike Eternal,
where there was sort of a rock, paper, scissors element to the weapons in the game. You needed to use this weapon on that enemy, and this weapon was super effective on that enemy. That's not in the Dark Ages. It is to a certain extent. I mean, you can still get armor shards from setting people on fire, and melee attacks will give you ammo. But in terms of weapons, you can pretty much use whichever weapon you think is best or is your favorite as often as you want. You may occasionally have to switch because you've run out of ammo, or there are very few instances where it is best to use, like, for example, a plasma weapon on a plasma shield. But that doesn't happen very often. You can just use whatever you want, which some people really like, some people probably not like so much. I'm probably in the camp of, as long as I get to keep using the f***ing pulverizer, I'm golden. The weapon switch is really slow though, and given how quickly you need to maneuver around, it feels very strange. Like I said, that rock, paper, scissors element from Doom Eternal isn't here anymore. So maybe they don't want you to be hot switching all the time. They don't want you to constantly cycle through your weapons. Maybe, I don't know, it could be an attempt to try and lower the skill ceiling. Like I said, there were some complaints about that in Eternal. I personally would like to see the weapon switching speed up because I want to be going fast. I want to be constantly tearing through all the enemies and not have to stop and wait a couple of seconds while I change weapons. The game seems easier than Eternal, which is going to be a good thing for a lot of people. I've heard many complaints about the gameplay loop in that game and how it's so difficult to master. I didn't have those complaints. I loved Eternal, and I think the Dark Ages is great too. Difficulty doesn't really play a part in whether I enjoy a game per se, unless it's extreme in one way or the other. So I think it's about right. It still feels great to play. There are lots of fun collectibles in the game. You've got your usual codex pages that expand the lore, which again, you don't have to pay attention to if you don't want to, if you just want to rip and tear. The collectible figurines are back from Eternal, which I'm really pleased about. I love collecting those things. They're really fun. Look at how he acts when he gets the dragon. Look, oh, isn't that cute? He loves it. The giant robot is f***ing sick. I love it. It's essentially just a regular Doom level, but it's slowed down and has maximum aura. Like, you can step on people and blow things up. You can just destroy all these little people as you see them around the map and just crunch the hell out of them. And I'm addicted to it. I can't stop doing it. I have to kill them whenever I see them. Let me in. Let me in. The dragon is alright. It's kind of a really simple gameplay mechanic. You fly around until you find an enemy. You do a lock-on thing where you just tap dodge and shoot, tap dodge and shoot until it blows up and then you land. It's not that engaging. I think it's the weakest part of the three gameplay styles. But at the end of the day, it's just metal as fuck. I think it's the only reason it's in the game. It's literally the rule of cool. Why is this in the game?
Because it's cool.
The music is really cool, but it is much less prevalent and standout than the last two. The absence of Big Mick Gordon is really felt. Music in this game serves the action, and it helps push you along rather than it being like its own character in the levels. In Doom Eternal and Doom 2016, it felt like it was always behind you, the music, pushing you forward. When you swapped guns, it was like BFG Division was handing you that super shotgun. Apparently this could be some kind of bug. The audio mixing might not be working properly. I don't know if that's an issue with the audio mixing as it's been done at Bethesda or id or whatever, or if it's a glitch and it shouldn't be functioning this way. Because I've definitely noticed a whole load of ambient music as opposed to what I would consider to be like extreme fight music. Others have reported the same issue, so take that with a pinch of salt. Maybe this is something that'll get fixed. Maybe it's not intentional, or maybe it is intentional and it's just a very strange choice. So the collector's bundle is sick. I love the statue, and the red key card's great too. Just look at this statue. This is honestly one of the coolest things I've ever gotten from a collector's bundle or a special edition of a video game ever. It's so awesome.
Now, there are a few glaring negatives about the game, but they're mostly to do with Bethesda, not id, and the business decisions that they have made. So first of all, I was extremely disappointed to see that the game disc is not a game disc. This is not a physical copy of Doom the Dark Ages. The game disc is basically empty. It's one of those Switch 2 download card things, basically. What the f*** is the point in that? I hate what publishers are doing to physical games. They want to kill the medium, and it shows. The disdain is unreal. The collector's bundle comes with a really cool looking steelbook case. Look at that. Which would look amazing on my shelf next to the steelbooks for Doom and Doom Eternal. So I'll just open it up and What is this for? Guys, you're already spending money to make this thing. You could make it function.
They really hate physical games, don't they? What is this about?
I won't leave you in suspense anymore. The game is amazing. But what did you expect, really? It haven't let me down yet. Doom 2016 was phenomenal. Doom Eternal was phenomenal. And now Doom the Dark Ages is also phenomenal. And there you have it. I've said all I need to say. Doom the Dark Ages is amazing and you should go and play it right now. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Once I've hoovered and mowed the lawn and done the dishes and mopped and dusted.